Let's invite a friend.
You gotta send me the link. You gotta send me the link.
I am.
Right now I'm staring at my couch.
Hopefully I'm live. Oh, I'm live. Hey,
Hey.
I figured it out. It's a learning process.
You're live, by the way.
I'm going to check YouTube and see if I am. Yep, I'm live.
Okay, I gotta shut the computer one off and then go back in. Nothing.
Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I'll get the hang of it. Okay. You good?
Roasting, but yeah.
I'm listening through my phone. Let me see if I can hear, if you can hear me with my headphones plugged in. Can you hear me?
Not those ones.
No? Okay. Alright. I guess I won't be using those ones. I'll be playing Can't Hear You Thing today. So, because I don't know how to upload the wireless headphones to my laptop. So, I'm going to be a little delayed from my phone. So, anyways. So we'll start with, I'm reading the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book. We're on
139.
Tradition 3.
Page 139.
Yes. Okay. Ready?
You're
God.
running the show.
What?
You're running the show.
Oh. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alright, I'm gonna read the steps and then I'll read step 3 or tradition 3. So, hey, step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Oh, turn the page. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Get up here. Be down. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, only praying for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Tradition 3. The only requirement for AA membership is the desire to stop drinking. This tradition is packed with meaning, for AA is really saying to every serious drinker, you are an AA member if you say so. You can declare yourself in. Nobody can help you, or no one can keep you out. No matter who you are, no matter how low you've gone, no matter how grave your emotional complications, even your crimes, we still can't deny you AA. We don't want to keep you out. We aren't a bit afraid you'll harm us. Never mind how twisted or violent you may be. We just want to be sure that you get the same great chance for sobriety that we've had. So you're an AA member the minute you declare yourself. Hello? To establish this principle of membership took years of harrowing experience. In our early time, nothing seemed so fragile, so easily breakable as an AA group. Hardly an alcoholic we approached paid any attention. Most of us, those who did join us, were like flickering candles in a windstorm. Time after time, their uncertain flames blew out and couldn't be relighted. Our unspoken constant thought was which of us may be the next. A member gives us a vivid glimpse of those days. At one time, he says, every AA group has many membership rules. Everybody was scared witless that something or somebody would capsize the boat and dump us all back into the drink. Our foundation office asked each group to send in its list of protective regulations. The total list was a mile long. If all those rules had been in effect everywhere, nobody could have possibly joined AA at all. So great was the sum of our anxiety and fear. We were resolved to admit nobody to AA, but that hypothetical class of people we term pure alcoholics, ex- expect except for their guzzling, an unfortunate result thereof, they could have no other complications. So beggars, tramps, asylum inmates, prisoners, queers, plain crockpots, and fallen women were definitely out. Yes, sir, we cater only to pure and respectable alcoholics. Any other would surely destroy us. Besides, if we took in those odd ones, what would decent people say about us? We built a fine mesh fence right around AA. Maybe this sounds comical now. Maybe you think we old-timers were pretty intolerant, but I can tell you there was nothing funny about the situation then. We were grim because we felt our lives and homes were threatened, and that was no laughing matter. Intolerant, you say? Well, we were frightened. Naturally, we began to act like most everybody does when afraid. After all, isn't fear the true bias of intolerance? Yes, we were intolerant. How could we then guess that all those fears were to prove groundless? How could we know that thousands of these sometimes frightening people were to make astonishing recoveries and become our greatest workers and intimate friends? Was it credible that AA was to have a divorce rate far lower than average? Could we then foresee the troublesome people were to become our principal teachers of patience and tolerance? Could any then imagine a society that which would include every conceivable kind of character and cut across every barrier of race, creed, politics, and language with ease? Why did AA finally drop at its membership regulations? Why did we leave it to each newcomer to decide himself whether he was an alcoholic and whether he should join us? Why did we dare to say, contrary to the experience of society and government everywhere, that we would neither punish nor deprive any AA of membership, that we must never compel anyone to pay anything, believe anything, or confirm to anything?
What,
Go
Mandy?
ahead.
The answer now seen in Tradition 3 was simplicity itself. At last, experience taught us that to take away any alcoholic's full chance was sometimes to pronounce his death sentence, and often to condemn him to endless misery. Who dared to be judge, jury, and executioner of his own sick brother? As group after group saw these possibilities, they finally abandoned all membership regulations. One dramatic experience after another clenched this determination until it became our universal tradition. Here are two examples. On the AA calendar, it was year 2. In the time nothing could be seen but two struggling, nameless groups of alcoholics trying to hold their faces up to the light. A newcomer appeared at one of these groups, knocked on the door, and asked to be let in. he talked frankly with that group's oldest member. He soon proved that his was a desperate case, and that above all, he wanted to get well. But he asked, "Will you let me join your group? Since I am the victim of another addiction, even worse, stigmatized than alcoholism. You may not want me among you, or will you?" There was a dilemma. What should the group do? The oldest member summoned two others, and in confidence laid the explosive facts in their laps. Said he, "Well, what about it? If we turn this man away, he'll soon die. If we allow him in, only God knows what trouble he'll brew. What shall the answer be? Yes or no?" At first, the elders could look only at the objections. "We deal," they said, "with alcoholics only. Shouldn't we sacrifice this one for the sake of many?" So went the discussion while the newcomer's fate hung in the balance. Then one of the three spoke in a very different voice. "What we are really afraid of," he said, "is our reputation. We are much more afraid of what people might say than the trouble this strange alcoholic might bring. As we've been talking, 5 short words have been running through my mind. Something keeps repeating to me. What would the master do?" No, not another word was said. What more indeed could be said? Overjoyed, the newcomer plunged into 12-step work. Tirelessly, he laid AA's message before scores of people. Since this was a very early group, those scores have since multiplied themselves into thousands. Never did he trouble anyone with his other difficulty. AA had taken its first step in the formation of Tradition 3. Not long after, the man with the trouble, or with the double stigma, knocked for admission. AA's other group received into its membership a salesman we shall call Ed, a power driver. This one, and brash as any salesman could be. He had at least an idea a minute on how to improve AA. These ideas he sold to fellow members with the same burning enthusiasm with which he disputed automobile polish. But he had one idea that wasn't so sellable. Ed was an atheist. His pet obsession was that AA could get along better without its God nonsense. He browbeat everybody, and everybody expected that he'd soon get drunk. For at the time, you see, AA was on the PS side. There must be a heavy penalty, it was thought, for blasphemy. Distressingly enough, Ed proceeded to stay sober. At length the time came for him to speak in a meeting. We shivered, for we knew what was coming. He paid a fine tribute to the fellowship. He told how his family had been reunited. He extolled the virtue of honesty. He recalled the joys of 12th step work And then he lowered the boom, cried Ed. I can't stand for this God stuff. It's a lot of malarkey for weak folks. This group doesn't need it, and I won't have it. To hell with it.
A great wave of outraged resentment engulfed the meeting, sweeping every member to a single resolve. Out he goes. The elders led Ed aside. They said firmly, "You can't talk like this around here. You'll have to quit it or get out." With great sarcasm, Ed came back at them. "Now do tell. Is that so?" He reached over to a bookshelf and took up a sheaf of paper. On top of them lay the foreword to the book, Alcoholics Anonymous, and under preparations he read aloud, "The only requirement for AA membership is desire to stop drinking." Relentless, Ed went on. "When you guys wrote that sentence, did you mean it or did you not? Or didn't you?" Dismayed, the elder looked at one another, for they knew he had them cold. So Ed stayed. Ed not only stayed, he stayed sober month after month. The longer he kept dry, the louder he talked against God. The group was in anguish so deep that all fraternal charity had vanished. When, oh when, groaned members to one another, will that guy get drunk? Quite a while later, Ed got a sales job, which took him out of town. At the end of a few days, the news came in. He'd sent a telegram for money, and everybody knew what that meant. Then he got on the phone. In those days, we'd go anywhere on a 12-step job. No matter how unpromising, but this time nobody stirred. Leave him alone. Let him try it by himself. For once, maybe he'll learn a lesson. About 2 weeks later, Ed stole by night into an AA member's house and, unknown to the family, went to bed. Daylight found the master of the house and another friend drinking their morning coffee. A noise was heard on the stairs. To their consternation, Ed appeared, a quizzical smile on his lips. He said, "Have you fellows had your morning meditation?" They quickly sensed that he was quite in earnest. In fragments his story came out. In a neighboring state, Ed had holed up in a cheap hotel after all his pleas for help had been rebuffed. These words rang from his fevered mind. "They have deserted me. I have been deserted by my own kind. This is the end. Nothing is left." As he tossed on his bed, his hand brushed the bureau nearby, touching a book. Opening the book, he read. It was a Gideon Bible. Ed never confided any more of what he saw and felt in that hotel room. It was the year 1938. He hasn't had a drink since. Nowadays, when old-timers who know Ed foregather, they exclaim, "What if we had actually succeeded in throwing Ed out of blasphemy?
For blasphemy.
Actually succeeded in throwing Ed out for blasphemy, what would have happened to him and all the others he later helped? So the hand of providence early gave us a sign that any alcoholic is a member of our society when he says so. This one is good because a lot of the newcomers, like I was, they didn't want to believe that something was working and that it had the word God attached to it. And because a lot of us, when we were in our drinking and, dealing with everything by ourselves, we would pray for God to help us instead of praying for Him to help us get better. We were praying for Him to make us not that never happened. So when we say that you can come as you are, I can tell you that it's true. We do accept anyone, no matter what. You can come drunk because we'll help you get sober. Try to help you get sober. It doesn't always work, but there are some that it works for.
You can come no matter what you look like, no matter your age, and it's free. We offer it for free because it was offered to us for free, and we were not judged.
Yep. The reason I started this channel for the AA is because it's free. I got this wonderful gift of being sober and having my family and my loved ones, my friends, all with me in my journey of going sober and experiencing life with life's terms. I mean, I can't control anybody just like they can't control me. I can only control things I do. I can only make myself better and help others with getting their sobriety. And I've helped a few people, and I know I've helped a few people stay sober. I've helped them get sober, and that's why I started doing this, is because I can. I have been sober 8 years, and I thank God every day that I wake up, and I'm still sober. I did go back to smoking, so if y'all want to know that, I do smoke now. Almost 60 days. But I was smoking here and there, taking a couple drags here and there, so that was probably my big mess up. But I'll get on it again. I don't know when, but I plan to. And,
Nobody's perfect, and it doesn't always work the first time.
Yep. It's just like, some people end up in the hospital for days and days and days, and they stop smoking, and then they leave the hospital. What do? They light a cigarette. Same with the alcohol, same with any other thing that you might be having an issue with, you're eating or you're overthinking or what have you. AA works for all of it, and it's just the way of teaching your mind and your heart on what is right, the better path, per se. But
and on that note, I'm lighting a cigarette.
But I mean, we have to live. And why not pass on the gift of getting sober for free and help someone? You can just reach out and say, hey, like I've seen many of I follow a lot of YouTube channels, and some of them are from like American Idol and stuff like that. Well, I did find one person. She sings a good song, and I saw her in a live chat, and she was the person doing the live video, and so I commented, and she said something that caught me, and y'all know what catches my ear. I'm a recovering alcoholic. It always, no matter who says it, no matter where it comes from, it catches my ear, and if I hear it, I'm ready to talk. So, but before now, I didn't tell anybody my story other than my friends and family. I didn't even really tell AA. I only did one guest speaker. And that's because my sponsor signed me up for that one. But when she said that, I yelled in the chat. I'm like, hey, I'm recovering also, and I think it's awesome. And so, then she had to go to a rehab because she had other problems. You know, not everybody's lucky and just goes to AA meeting and gets the grip of it, you know? It just doesn't happen that way. But, she started into a rehab and, she's doing great. So it's not just us barely starting, you know? And, well, I'm barely starting my YouTube and stuff, you know, but it's a vast area to be able to help people in becoming sober and quitting that issue that they're having a problem with. And if we can help them, why not? It's free. It is completely free. I never paid anything. I mean, besides my coffee, and that's only if I had it. And, you know, I did donate quite a bit of money to mine because I had the money and I was like, you know, this has helped me so much. And we were short for a rent for a meeting place. And so I pitched in quite a bit of money for that. But I did that because that's a place where I feel safe to go and feel like I'm welcomed the way I am. And people aren't judging me there, you know? And that's why I usually say, I know I didn't start it this one that way, but we don't judge people in here. No rude comments. If you're gonna be a bully, just leave because you're gonna get blocked anyways. Don't bother leaving a comment because it's just gonna get blocked. We don't need the negativity. It's about positivity and helping the next person out, not bringing them down. So, and I have never done a live stream through StreamYard. This is my first actual full-on live through StreamYard, and I have a guest, and it is a lot different talking to somebody than talking to myself in a camera. I mean, that's what it feels like when you're talking and nobody else, you know. But, I'm blessed to be able to give this gift and share what I have learned in ways that it has helped me and things I've gotten to see with being sober. Yeah, I would have never had my first job if I had never got sober. And this job I stayed with for a year and 3 months. Or a year and 2 months. Because I'm not going back.
You had a job before this one.
Huh?
You had a job before this one.
So, but I wanted to do these meetings to reach out to the other people that may need the help. So, and thank you, Will, for being my partner on this, and always staying true to staying sober and riding this journey out with me, because you've been right behind me. And I have to say, I'm very proud of you and the other people that I have helped, regardless if they talk to me or not. I'm proud of anyone that this helps, that you get sober and find a better life. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to, all you have to do is be true to yourself and realize that you can do that. You can do it. It's a big hurdle, but we can do it. We're meant to do hard things. Yep. So, but I'm very proud of doing these meetings. I mean, it gives me something to look forward to. I can reach out to other people, and it's just great. It's great. You need to do that. If you need surgery, you need to do that. No matter how hard it is, because I know it's going to be a hard thing to do, just do it. If you need a surgery, you need to do it for that purpose. Do it for you. You can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. I just did 60 days, and it's not my last ride. I'm going to ride it again. I'm going to quit. I just don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but hopefully I won't be like, I don't know. But sorry about Copper's nails. Chris just got home. What'd you fling up here, you freakazoid? He's gonna bark. Woo! He's not gonna howl. But I'm glad y'all came, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. I'll be live on Wednesday. After Ava. Check her out. She's on Monday and Wednesday mornings, and at 6 o'clock our time, Pacific Standard Time, AM. And then they do music on Doug and Ava's place on Thursday evening. Then Friday evening they do music on Ava Potterfield and Friends. But I go Wednesday live, and that's for my adventures. I have a PayPal on my YouTube description, and please feel free to donate for my travel fund. I'm trying to make enough to where I can get to the Oregon meetup in June. So, just check out my PayPal if you want. If not, it's all good. And that's just for my travel. It's not for the AA meetings. So I don't charge anything for here or my channel. I just ask for donations. But if you can't, it's alright. But I'm going to go ahead and do the closing prayer, and then we can go back on our day. And I hope you all have an amazing and wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Love you guys.
Notification bell.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back.
It works.
It works if you work it. Love you guys.